Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crunkest show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man in the building, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, and my man, the money man, Walter, is in the building. Gonna try to help you tonight with your finances, because right now it looks like America is about to get the key thrown out the back window, and they gonna lock this place down. You better have your money straight. We're gonna talk about it, man. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for tuning in, man. Because without you guys, we realistically could not do what we do. So we appreciate you taking the time out to come talk to these intelligent African American people in the crazy Black Republic. I just love it. In the news today, I really ain't keep up with it because I've been on planes all day. I've been on planes and finally made it to Minneapolis. And as soon as I get off the plane, I gotta go get it, man. I gotta go do what I do. Got some work I gotta do. So, I kind of just jump in on some of the things that's going on. But I tell you what, I mean, some news that I've been keeping up with for years, and I just saw the stats yesterday. The murder rate in Houston is up 45% since last year. But you still have a 21-page comprehensive plan that me and my people created that was endorsed by the Anti-Gun Violence Commission that you refuse to fund when we know how to make them put the guns down. Should I feel bad about the crime rate? No, you should, because if you keep voting these same people in, you're going to keep getting the same results. So as long as you ain't got no problem with keeping your head on a swivel when you dropping your kids off at school or putting gas in your car, then welcome to the land of the trio, man, because they're going to knock your block off. Donovan?
Absolutely, absolutely. In the news today, as you guys know, at least out here in California, we just went into a curfew mode. So where I live is Riverside County. The biggest county in the United States is called San Bernardino County. And here in Southern California, and California as a whole, they have the biggest amount of coronavirus situation because a lot of people are moving to the Cali Mesas and the new building areas, non-affordable housing. That's what we call it out here, the non-affordable housing. And so we went on lockdown, and a curfew is good until, I believe, 10 o'clock tonight. You better take your black ass indoors at 10 to 7 in the morning. And it's not going to look any better. Also, if you guys watched Rudy Giuliani with paint running down his face, and he was sweating like a pig. I don't know what that was about, but his hair dye was all going. It was all nasty. Of course, they withdrew their petition in Michigan, and it has been known that there has been voter suppression going on in predominantly Black areas. So that's something you got to be partaking. But a lot of their trying to steal the election and putting pressure on operatives has been backfiring, and they've been like withdrawing their petitions, because if you look at the long game, they want to create that doubt so that people can say, hey, he didn't lose, he fought till the end, this whole thing is corrupt. And basically, Giuliani's whole strategy is this. He's saying that across the nation, there was a nefarious act by the Democrats, because I'm a recovering Democrat, so it ain't me. I'm just reporting what the strategy is, that it is a concerted effort across the nation to steal the election from Trump. So if you have ballot harvesting in Houston, and there's similar ballot harvesting here in California, with ballot harvesting in Wisconsin and stuff, he's trying to link them together as a nefarious plan across the nation, throw everybody's vote out in the disputed states, and let Trump be declared the winner. So that's the latest. Demetra?
Yeah, so absolutely. Trump is being a douchebag as usual. Yeah, lots of people, including a lot of people on his team, are asking him to give up the ghost, start packing, and he says no. Yeah, and Trump is not even talking about the coronavirus or anything. They said it's been like almost 2 weeks since he's been seen or, made any statements or anything like that. He's basically just focusing on trying to overturn the election results to his favor. I believe, unfortunately, and I think we've said this before plenty of times, that they're going to have to drag Trump out of the White House, him, Melania, and everybody else with him, because he is not trying to do that. And he has a lot of people, a lot of Republicans, if you will, that are trying to figure out a way to stay in the White House, if you will. And so they're not even trying to meet with Biden's transition team at all, making it very hard. Biden's team is saying that Trump's actions now is putting them back weeks and perhaps months from the time that they do get the White House. It's going to take them forever, well, not forever, but longer than normal to actually transition, because Trump is not willing to do any of that at all. And so, Gary, before we give it over to Gary, before we give it over to Walter.
Yep. What?
No, I'm actually going to give it to Walter, but he took off. And so, I think it's going to it's going to be a long winter for there you are, a long winter for a couple of reasons. For one, Trump is not trying to give up the White House, and the coronavirus is raging out of control to the point to where a lot of states, not Texas, right? Because Texas is not trying to. Texas is like, yeah, we ain't doing none of that. The governor's like, we're not locking nothing down. Phil from the Advice Show put up a meme of Drago from Rocky. The meme says, "If you die, you die." He said that's the governor's attitude in Texas. Like, if you die, you die. We are not closing anything down. You guys know Texas is leading in the coronavirus, everything, right? Deaths, cases, all of that. And they're like, this just goes business as usual. We're not going to stop the economy, shut anything down. Y'all go out there, play in traffic, make it do what it do, right?
I know up here in Minnesota, I just got here, but they going to lock down tomorrow night. So I got to get me to a Walmart and get me some snacks. I can't let my calorie count get too low. So I got to go get me some snacks tomorrow before they shut this place down.
That might work in your favor, Gary.
I'm hoping it works in my favor, shoot. So anyway, Walter, what's going on with you? We actually spoke at length this morning about a few things you wanted to talk about. I got a question from someone. Also wanted you to tackle it, but we'll get to that after you go into what it is you're doing. So for you guys that are new, if you would please press the share button so that everybody can get this information. Because as you know, especially us as Black people, we are behind the 8 ball in everything you can think of, specifically economics, money, right? And so this is the time to break out your good pen and paper and take a copious amount of notes, because we are going to be giving great advice that you cannot get anywhere. I mean, you can get it, right? But they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. But right now, you're going to get it for free. This advice has helped plenty of people change their lives, re-revolutionize their business, free up a lot of money, and live more of a stress-free life. We have, one day we're going to have people come on here and give some testimonies as to what Walter and his company, cornucopia.com, you guys can visit that for more information, but what they have actually done for them. And so please, if you would, like I said, tag a friend and share this so everybody else can get this information, because I promise you, you're going to walk away with something that you can use tonight. Donovan, you have something to say before I kick it to Walter? Oh, okay, Walter, so what you got?
I have a dream. Now, actually, all jokes aside, that is my topic. I've been watching the news and watching all this stuff, Biden, Obama, Trump, O'Donnell, all these people running for office. The one thing that I haven't heard is any of these politicians say my name. No one said my name. No one got an address. I haven't got a phone call, anything from any of these politicians. So you know what that means? I got to take care of my own shit. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going back to what Martin Luther King did. Here's what happened. And that's funny because I was born on December 1st, and December 1st, 1955 is when Rosa Parks, she was on the bus, all that stuff happened. What happened is black people took their economic power and they held on to it. They said, we are not riding these buses until you change. And right away, there was economic change. For whatever reason, people have forgotten that message. And honestly, if you were to talk to Martin Luther King, if you could go back in time, he would tell you that the best thing he did, one of the strongest things he did was control the money, the economic narrative. And for whatever reason, we have gotten away from that. Like, I watch all these shows, and I'm not necessarily talking about this one because, this one we try and keep it educational. But I'm watching all these people, like I was watching CNBC and Bloomberg today, and they have all these segments. And every time they talk about black economics, they talk about, like black people need this, black people, we need this for black people. No, we don't. Black people, stop with the Oliver Twist shit. Stop asking, please, may I have another? They're not giving you Negroes nothing. That should be a shirt, D. You Negroes get nothing, because if we could listen to the boardroom, their conversations, they would say, we tired of these Negroes. How much we got to give them? Now, I know we need reparations and all that stuff, but you guys seriously, grow up. There's no reparations for black people. And far as I'm concerned, I got my stimulus money, and I have access to the economies and banking and credit. I'm not one of those people that's waiting on reparations. And honestly, you ain't gonna do shit. Most people ain't gonna do nothing with it anyways. Like, if it's me and I'm Donald Trump, because it seems like he's gonna be in office for a while, I just write the check to all black people, because all they gonna do is give it back. Period. I don't know why they haven't done it. And black people, we need to take better care of ourselves, honestly. So, I know we have the War Zone Cash App here, and we talked about maybe putting some funds together. You guys, if you're not going to get involved financially, shut the hell up, period. I know I've been to the black church, and he talked to his congregation shitty. Like, y'all need to move. Like, the Lord says you ain't doing right. You need to get up and do right. Like, I'm going to do it without the hymning and the singing part. Like, here's what you need to do. Go out, get money, take a percentage of it, and put it somewhere where it's for you or your future. Period. Like, how complicated is that? And some of you guys that watch the show, I talk to you on a regular basis, and I tell you, scared money don't make money. You need to take some chances. I'll give you an idea. Some of you guys are familiar with real estate, right? I know it's not all black people. You guys don't get sensitive. When I say black people, I'm talking about us as a group. Because if I get my black ass pulled over, they're not going, oh, that's Walter Coulter, right? The racist cop saying he's a black dude. So we are all one people. So don't get sensitive on me. So anyways, I'm watching this real estate show, right? This dude is called Meet Kevin, right? And he's 20 something years old. He made $7 million last year. He says that him and his wife lost $1 million in the real estate market. $1 million. And him and his wife starting all over. You guys, this is a 22, 23, I don't know how old is kid. Right? Some of you guys have kids older than this dude who last year made $7 million after losing $1 million. So the point I'm making is we have to keep going. You have to put some money away. You guys, it's black people. Our time is up. It's over. Like Joe Biden, he's not coming to save you. Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris, Trump, none of these guys are coming to save you. They have their own agenda. Do you ever wonder why a multi-billionaire would want to take a job that only pays him or her 400 grand? Do you ever think about that? Right? Do you really think this is about you? So some of the things we can do, you guys, and so I'm not going to charge for this advice. Financial Planning 101 says to set your protection in place. And in my opinion, one of the things we need to do is protect our credit ranking with how people see us. You see what I'm saying? And you guys, by the way, I hear a lot of people saying, I tried talking to black people and they're not listening. Move on. Jews, Mexicans, Caucasians, when they talk to one of their people and they don't listen, they find someone else. Move on. Period. Stop trying to, the best way to help yourself is to help yourself. And the more of us that work on our shit, it's going to be better. Because if I'm a black man, and I am, right? So if I build my credit and I keep my finances in my house clean, and if I exercise and I take care of myself, then I can help a black person. And I got 6 kids, so I got plenty of people to help on my side. I can help them do better. And so, right, so when you help yourself and you help the ones around you, the community can only get stronger, right? But like, we spend more time as a race talking about injustice than we do about economic power. You guys, the injustices are not going to stop until we treat ourselves better. Period. They ain't gonna stop. Every day I hear of a black dude or a person of color that was brutalized, shot, killed. Like, it's every day, you guys. And this is just the stuff we see with the cameras. Imagine how often it happens every day. Every day. You know why? Because we have not followed rule number 1, what Martin Luther King was doing. And he backed away from it too, is control the money. Get your, like Black Friday. If you are shopping on Black Friday and it's not for your own business or something that's helping you, you are a cause of the problem. If you're out there on Black Friday, you might as well go out and hang out with the Klan. Because I promise you, if every black person on this podcast had a 700 FICO score, 620 FICO score, we would all be doing better. Period. So like, people say, well, Walter, what's the secret? Pay your shit on time. That's the secret. Don't get it. You guys, like, I always say this. There's shit that I want. I want new stuff. Like, I've been looking at RVs, used RVs. I saw one for $7,000 today. That's drive. You can live in it. You can pull it up, put it on your land, rent it out to Airbnb. It was $7,000. It wasn't that complicated. It was just, doing the work, building up some credit, and then, using you can use your credit to do that. Some of you guys have phenomenal credit scores, but you're not doing shit with it. You might as well loan it to a hustler. If you got a 700 FICO score and you're not doing anything with it, what's the point? Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to stop at that point so y'all can add in.
Let me hop on this point here because I love what you said. In regards to Black Friday, which we know is coming up next Friday. We see the commercials, everybody, they're gearing up to siphon all the money that people have. Why, I don't know, especially, during the pandemic where, everything is struggling. I don't know why anybody would be out there. But you pretty much said that, especially as Black people, if you're out there on Black Friday, you are funding your own oppression.
Yeah.
You're funding your own oppression by continuing to give 97% of $1.3 trillion away to people that do not benefit nor look like you. And so I totally agree with you there. And also, like what you said the best way to help yourself is to help yourself. And I think that probably went over a lot of people's heads, not people on here, but the people over there. The best way to help yourself is to help yourself. And I think people don't get that because we're so busy concerned with it. We talk about this a lot, especially when it comes to something like politics. Black people are usually running to the aid of everyone else. I was on Twitter earlier and I saw the Congressional Black Caucus. I guess they sweared in some new some new people to the Black Caucus, and people were asking, okay, so what are they going to do? you know, are they actually going to help Black people this time? Because normally they help everybody else. And so that's kind of what came to mind, was that the best way to help yourself is to actually help yourself. But let me ask you this, because you're giving some great advice tonight. Somebody asked me about, could you talk about trading hours for dollars? When you hear that, what does that mean?
Well, and it happens. And, you know, first of all, if you got a job, that's phenomenal. Make that plan. I think you even said it. Make that your plan B. Here's what rich people don't do a lot of. Okay, like, you're going to pay me $20 an hour, which is a decent wage, by the way, right? If you make $20 an hour, you live in Houston, you don't have a car payment, and there's two of you guys pitching on an $150,000 house or $200,000 house, which means your mortgage payment is $600 plus property tax and interest. For under $1,000, you got a decent house and no car payments. I mean, two of you guys that make $20 an hour, you could live like rock stars. You could do that. So the problem is people won't do it. So trading hours for dollars, I would go in the mindset of every time you're working for someone else, I want you to go, I am a slave. My name is Django. I want you to think like that. And then when you get out of the slave trade, I want you to go, what can I do to make money? Period. Like, for instance, I don't like to trade. And actually, you know what? That's not true. I do charge an hourly wage. I charge, you know, me and my son, we charge $250 an hour for our work. If we touch something, or we go, okay, can we make $250 an hour doing this? So, I mean, you can set your wage. You can do that. But as far as somebody saying, hey, Walter, here's $12 for your hour, you can kiss the inner. Anyways, let me shut up. I don't see it that way. Right. So what I'd rather do is go, can I make money here? Right. Like, I was on, some of you guys that follow me on Facebook. This dude was trying to sell me an RV for 12 grand. It was a 95, you know, needed a lot of work. And so I went to the auction today. I found one that was newer for half price. And I go, what I ought to do is take this $7,000 deal and then go put it next to his page where he's trying to get 12 for something older. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? Like this lighter, which I use to light this candle behind me. You know, I'm thinking, okay, somebody in China, this was 10 cents and I bought it for $1. As far as I'm concerned, I got the short end of the stick or the short end of the light. You know what I'm saying? It's not even a concert lighter. You can't even like put your lighter up with this one without burning the person in front of you so long. So every time you make a move, you need to go, where's the money? Right? Like, can I invest in whatever it is? Where's the money? You always need to be thinking about that, because what happens, you guys, is it becomes a habit. People that know me know when I travel, I'm always looking for the money. Like, we went to France and people that, oh, you just traveling all over the world. No, I'm not. I'm working. You can buy a house in France in Lyon next to the river for $95,000. That's a house in France for 99 grand. My sister was telling me today, you can buy a house in South Africa for $17,000. That's insane to me. Are you crazy? I was
the building, and Donovan, I forget the name of the building we stayed at. It was a big, giant, high rise, and we stayed at the penthouse. You could buy a penthouse for $17,000. Yeah, for $17,000, you can buy a penthouse in South Africa, which is open, by the way.
Yes, but Johannesburg.
Yeah, Johannesburg. Let's expound upon the plan B you mentioned. You guys jump in anytime. So yeah, as I was saying, me and Walter were talking earlier, and I was having a conversation with someone who was lamenting about their job. Just the people there were lazy. They didn't want to work and this, that, and the other. And there's all this other stuff, right? And I said, let me ask you something. This is the person I was talking to. I says, if your job said, hey, you know what? Thank you so much for being here for all these years. You've been a wonderful employee, but today is your last day. I said, what would you do? Do you have a plan B, right? And they said, no. And I said, you know what? Your job should actually be your plan B, and you should be your plan A. I said, because the question I just asked you is actually going to be a lot of people's realities. And I'm not talking about people who work at, you know, the like service industries. It's going to be people with 6-figure salaries who are going to have to be asking themselves, do I have a plan B? If so, am I plan B, or was the job plan B? And so, we were speaking about the importance of having something else that you do, right? And so the conversation of dollars for hours came in. He was saying how a lot of the guys that show up to the job, they are temp workers and they don't necessarily want to do the work. And so I said, well, how much are these guys getting paid? He says about $8 an hour or so. I said, so you mean to tell me these guys are expected to get up at the wee crack of hours or in the morning to go work for roughly $64 an hour before taxes? After taxes, I don't know. I'm not good at that. I'm probably going to bring home $50 a day to get up at grueling times of the morning to go hustle, bust their back for $50. I said, you know what you can do for $50 a day? I mean, you can do anything. You can collect cans and all of that. And so I said, to me, it's not worth it to lament about a job. And I know jobs are important. I'm not knocking a job. I worked a job my whole life. But something for $50 a day, roughly, like we need to rethink about. And then I asked him too. I said, well, when the raises come along? So that everybody gets a raise in January. I said, well, what are the raises? It said roughly between 10 and 15 cents. 10 and 50 cents. So I said, you mean to tell me, roughly you're going to get $4 extra. If you're really good at your job, you're going to get $4 more a day for the year that you were so good, And so they said, I didn't think about it that way. I said, you got to actually do the numbers and ask yourself, what am I putting myself through every day for this amount of money? We all have known people who have collected cans and, just done a whole lot of other things for $50 a day. I'm not knocking it, but I'm saying, is it worth you to go to work every day to have to deal with other people this person was making obviously a little bit more than that, but temporary people, is it worth it to go to work and deal with somebody on your back telling you what to do and for $50 a day?
Okay. You guys, and let me address something here. And I just want to kind of cut to the shit. When I was working with Kanye West, right, when I first met him through the wire. Remember, D, I was at your house remember when I started working with Kanye, and Through the Wire was on MTV, used to play music. It was called a buzz clip. And Through the Wire was on a buzz clip. And I was like, oh yeah, I just started working with that dude. And me and him would talk all the time on the phone. And one day I was like, dude, like Kanye, you could be one of the greatest, but you ain't gonna be shit unless you have your money straight. It's money. Here's the reason I bring that up. And I'm just looking at some of the stuff. You guys are talking about vaccines and all this shit. You guys, you can't do shit about it. The vaccine's coming, if you don't want to take it, stay in the house. I hear people saying I'm not going to take it. I may or may not take it, but you know what? It ain't going to fuck with my money. You know what I'm saying? Right as we're talking about money, we get so diverted. I'm not trying to really step on no toes. I'm just saying, you guys, this is the money show. If the vaccine come out, am I going to take it? I don't know. But during the money show, let's stick to the money, right? People talk about this and the powers that be. There's no power in the Black community. It's a bunch of low-level Negroes talking about the same old shit. Every single YouTube channel is the same. Niggas with nothing. That's what it is. And that's how they talk about us. So at what point, I wrote some notes down, right? I was looking at one of your comments. Somebody said, can you rent it out? Talking about the RV. Hell yes. I'm going to give you the math right now. I'm going to tell you guys how to add an extra $2,000 to $3,000 to your paycheck starting next month. Are you ready? Here it is. I took my black ass to the auction, right? It's called Mannheim. You guys got it in Houston, right? You got it in there's a cup, because we coming down there to get a Range Rover for one of the members on this show, right? I love to shop with other people's stuff. So now they sell RVs once a month or twice a month. They do a recreational sale, RVs, ski-doos, boats, you name it. So there's a 2000 Fleetwood, right? That on Craigslist, this car is 20 to 25 grand from Puco and Paco and them around the corner. Today, I watched one sell for $7,500. From 2025 on the street to 7,500 where I buy them from, right? I can swipe. I asked my son, I said, is our credit card machine still working? Right? Because I can swipe my credit card at a 0% interest or 3%, and the money will be deposited into one of my banks, and then I'll go give the auction, they $7,500, right? It's gonna cost me a little money to get it out to my, to the property. I'm gonna have a water tank is like $500 to put on the property, so it's always got water. A generator is gonna cost me a little bit of money. So it's gonna cost me about 10 grand to get this RV sitting somewhere where Airbnb will do all the work digitally and people will pay me $200 a day to stay in my RV. Now, rate of return works like this. Let's say it costs me 10 grand, right? And if I rent this RV out, like if you come to California and try and stay in an RV, they're booked, period. It's $150 plus a $50 cleaning fee that you get to keep. That's $200. $200 a day times 20 days. That means it's only rented 65% of the time is $4,000 a month. Are you listening to me? That's $4,000 a month. If I do that 8 months out of the year, right? That's $32,000. How much money did I invest in this RV? Huh?
7,500, and with a little bit of interest because of the credit card usage.
I didn't invest a goddamn thing. I put that on the credit card.
Oh. Got it.
My credit card interest on $7,000 at 0% or 3% or 10% is only $60 a month at 10%. So you mean to tell me I can put the money on a credit card and pay $60 in interest at 10% and make $4,000 a month on $60? Like, you guys, like my son will tell you, my focus has shifted. I'm whispering, like the people next door gonna hear me. So like for $60 a month, I can make $4,000. Now, what some people will do, and this is not a bad idea, you can collect the money, you and your neighbors, your homies, your families, Thanksgiving, you guys collect 10 grand and get you one of these things, right? And worst come to worst, you got somewhere to kick it, go travel in, go down to Lake Arthur, Port Arthur, or wherever you guys do down there, right? But at $4,000 a month times 8 months of the year is $32,000. Even if I would have invested $10,000 out of cash, my rate of return would be 300% on my $10,000. That means yesterday I had a job. I went out and I put some money on the credit card and I scraped it up from the hood or wherever we got this 10 grand and we took our ass down to Houston or Texas Lobby or whatever the auction is, and we bought an RV and we rented out for $200 a day. That's $4,000 a month. That's at 12 months. That's $50,000 a year. Like that's $1,000 a week divided by 40 hours a week is $25 an hour. Except the difference is I'm not out punching this clock. My RV is doing the work. So guess how many RVs I'm trying to buy this year? 100, 200. Does that make sense? You guys realize, like I told you guys on this show, I said buy JP Morgan stock options from March and June, the 130s, 140s, 150s. They were like 26 cents when I said that a couple weeks ago. Today, they're like $4 or $5. It's just like, it's insane. This is what banks do, is they take your money. I sound like Steve Harvey. I'm about to say, with your dumbass. No, but I don't like to talk like that, but you understand what I'm saying. And I don't have the mustache that's big enough. They take your money and they, like, I opened an account at a bank last week, and they sent me this thing that says, oh, we'll give you 0.2% for like over $100,000. We'll give you 0.2%. And if you leave us the money for 5 years, we'll give you like 1%. I said, I'll be dumb as hell to give somebody my money for 5 years at 1%. Are you kidding me? Like, you should walk into your bank. You're already wearing the mask, so you should just blow up the spot. That's what you should do. And you should shoot yourself in the face for letting them hold your money that long at 1%. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, this is, somebody said his mustache is a lace wig. It probably is true, right? So, but here's the thing, you guys. These are the conversations that you should be having with your kids. Oh, oops. I was telling my son when I worked at American Express, I used to go in this room with these old white dudes, CPAs, lawyers, financial advisors, and they were like in their 60s and 70s. And I was like 28. And I said to the dude, I noticed I'm fairly young. He goes, you know what? And he said in his old white voice, we're looking for diversity. Hey, Bob, diversity, right? This was like 1999 or some shit like that. And I learned all these tricks, and they're not tricks. I'm saying tricks because most people say it's too good to be true. So, like, you guys, you can do that with RVs. You can do that with cars. My boy Cato just called me. He's like, hey, man, I bought a car and the insurance company, my son wrecked it, but the insurance company gave me more than the car was worth, which is what they do if you buy a car the right way. I remember I bought my son Chris a car. He don't think I know, but somebody outed him, right? We paid $1,200. He wrecked it, and the insurance company gave him $4,500. Like almost 4 times what I paid for it, the insurance company gave him, right?
So let's take some questions. And you guys, for those of you guys that are on here, if you have any questions about finances, I'm going to go ahead and read them, and then Walter is going to answer them. So tonight is the night. Donovan, Gary, y'all have anything to say before I go into these comments? Y'all just kind of absorbing. Okay, cool. So let's see. We'll go back.
I got something to say.
Okay.
I'm listening. I've been listening for months. I'm in the middle of a pandemic. I don't have no damn money. The car I got, they trying to take it. I'm hiding it right now. I get what you're saying, but how can I get to the money to buy an RV and I don't have no money? So what's the plan if I don't have no money? My credit is not where it needs to be.
Here's what you need to do.
What I need to do.
You need to think like an old German refugee who is running from Hitler, and they got $50 in their pocket, and they about to get on the boat halfway across the Atlantic Ocean with no plan, hope, dreams, and hustle. If you have no money right now, literally, like, first of all, you can build your credit with $200. Like, if I was homeless, let's say I didn't have no money, right? I was broke as shit, right? Like broken and broke, like Jerry Maguire broke, Cuba Gooding Jr. on Jerry Maguire. I was that broke. I would take my ass to this gas station across the street, and I would start washing windows. I would take some napkins out of their machine. I start wiping the windows. Then I buy me a squeegee. Then I take my ass to Goodwill and get me a white collar shirt and some khakis. And then I tell every single gas station in the neighborhood, hey man, I'm gonna wash every single window of everybody that come in here. I'm gonna be clean, suited, booted. I'm gonna look nice. I'm gonna be respectful, and me and you gonna split this money. That's what I would do right now. I would do that tonight, and anyone could do that. People, I wouldn't do that. My pride, then well, shit, you ain't gonna never have nothing. That's what I would do. Number one. Number two, what I just was saying, like, you don't need money to do what I just did. You just use your credit. Some of you guys have relatives that you won't approach, or friends and family. Like my sister has good credit, right? Me and her talked today. And my sister, we bought houses together. Like, we did all kinds we got killed in the real estate market, but we kept trying. We rebuilt our credit. We're going to do it right this time. Right? So, like, I never asked her for money. I'll just say, you got good enough credit to do what I'm doing. That's it. So you don't need money, but you just need credit. If you don't have credit, borrow somebody's credit. Hey, man, you have good credit. I'm trying to get this RV. I'm trying to buy this car from the auction so we can flip it. Right? What you need is credibility. That's what you need. You don't need money. You don't even need credit. You just need credibility. Hey, mom, hey, grandma, auntie, I'm trying to start a business. I watched this crazy dude talk on the internet show, and he said with no money down, we can start making $3,000 or $4,000 a month. I need your help. Can I borrow a credit card with money on it? Or you guys, you go to church every Sunday, they pass the bucket 3 or 4 times. Yo, get it your pastor, be like, yo, Pastor P, here's the deal. We're going to start a business, and we need you to pass the bucket, and we're going to split the money in the church. Once a month, I will give you an accounting of how much money I made, and I will split it with the church. I need you to pass the bucket, right? You got this beautiful car, and I'm not hating on pastors that have stuff. Pastors, they should be rich, right? I mean, as a man of God, they should all be rich, but you shouldn't have a poor congregation. So you guys out in the church parking lot, instead of talking about Sister So, you know, she got the WAP dress on, what you ought to be doing is saying, yo, sister, we should start this business we've been talking about. That's the type of stuff. So you don't need money. Like I promise you, like I wrote this show called Back to Life, where me and I found the homeless dude, and me and him just hung out, and I showed him how to get back in the house, back in the car, back with his old girl. You know, well, he probably should have left her alone. She's probably the reason he's homeless, but like whatever. Like how to get back to life. You guys, it doesn't matter. Like I'm looking around my house right now because I'm looking for shit that I would sell if it came to it. Period. Right? So like just this candle sitting right here, I promise you I'll be outside holding the light up, talking about, yo, you need some light to pump gas. Okay, maybe not with a candle. But because we know people that have made that mistake. But like, it doesn't matter. My boy sold me this notebook for $250. It's a planner. It's not, is it worth $250? I don't know, but he was like, Walter, and he's worth millions of dollars. He goes, I started my own planner company. Instead of fucking with Franklin Templeton or whatever, Franklin Covey, will you buy one from me? I was like, yeah, dude, my son was right there. I bought 2 of them. The other one ain't even been used. That's a damn shame. Whatever. Right? So start liquidating. You guys, some of the people that will say, I don't have money, will be in Black Friday. It's not Black Friday. It's Kill Black People Friday. That's what they ought to call it. Right? We'll do this show and people will have their black ass the day after Thanksgiving at the store. And here's the other thing too, you guys. Thanksgiving is not for black people. It's not. It's the day the European came up and he killed the Indian. And the Indians don't like black people either. If you do your research, 2011, the Cherokee Nation cut black people from their roster. The freedmen, the Indians got with the blacks, had kids, and those kids they cut loose. Y'all ain't getting a goddamn thing. Do your research. Ain't no turkey coming in my house Thanksgiving. I'm going to Vegas. Like, it's cut with the holidays. Like, when's the last time you saw a turkey or a bunny walk across the street? Right? I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't gonna mess with the other holiday. I ain't never met him either, but whatever. Like, stop with the spook shit. And like Thanksgiving, you guys ought to be getting together and cutting the cake. That's what you ought to be doing. So, Gary, to answer your question is kind of long, but that's what I would do. And until you do that, you have no right to say shit. If you're not putting your money away, if you guys like, I don't want to work on my credit every day. My son will tell you, I got all my credit cards out there. I put them in order by limit size. Every day I go to Experian, Credit Karma, and I look at my credit. I'm like, you know, the other day at like midnight or some shit like that, I sent my son a screenshot of my credit report. I go, my score's going up. He's like, why? I was like, I don't know why, but it's going up. We're doing the work, right? So that's what I would do, you guys. And what I would also do is cut the goddamn excuses. Like, somewhere there's a one-legged man kicking ass, and you got 2 legs and you moonwalking backward. Just go for it. Like Martin Luther King laid it out. We're going to get off the bus and we're going to strangle the shit out of him financially. But what he didn't complete is they didn't start their own bus line. They went back to massa, and you can't do that because then they won't respect you. It's like if you dating a girl and you slap the shit out of her and she come back, like, you know, you can keep doing it to her. Now, maybe that's the wrong analogy, right? Or whatever. You can slap the shit out of him. That's probably more likely to happen these days. But we went back. And I'm not saying we need to split the races. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we had the power, but there was nobody in the community that had enough influence to turn around and say, we're going to start our own bus line. You guys, I saw an all black bus today, all black seats. It's probably sell for like $4,000. It's an old bus. And I thought I should start a bus line. Right? That's what we should be doing. You guys, and seriously, black people, start taking yourself more seriously. Like, this is not complicated. Right? I watch CNBC, Bloomberg. I watch a little bit of news to see what the middle class is doing, right? Because I gotta know what people are thinking because I need to know what the money is, right? I see my neighbor going to work. There's 10 Mexicans living in the house next door. I'm not mad at them, but the conversation I want to have with them is like, yo, all y'all got a job. Why don't you buy something over here? Why don't you flip something? Why are you making car payments? That's the conversation I want to have with him. And that's the conversation you got to use with you guys. So build your credit and borrow. You guys, I'm telling you, borrow and invest. Don't borrow and spend on shit.
Tamika Motley say most people that say they don't have money have bad spending habits. Cut unnecessary spending like eating out, smoking, drinking, it adds up. I'm talking about the people that ain't got them habits. I'm talking about the people that just ain't got it right now. They ain't got no bad habits. Because if that's not a true statement, what I'm saying, why in the hell we got everybody giving out free shit? Free food, free this, free that. Everybody ain't got bad spending habits right now. We're in the middle of a fucking pandemic, and some people can't put two nickels together.
They got the wrong habits. Go ahead, D.
Let me tag team this, if you will, because I totally understand. I understand where Gary's coming from. I'll tell you guys a quick story. After my 10-month divorce, I was married for 10 months one time. It's a horror story. I'll tell you about it one day. I had nothing. Now I'm gonna tell you, I came from, as Walter said, owning real estate. I had, just money saved, and it was just horrible. I had nothing. I didn't even have my own car at that point. I was going back and forth in my daughter's car, and my mom came over and visited me one day, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm just boo-hooing, and I don't have any money, I don't know what to do, I don't have a car. And my mom looked at me, she says, you're a self-defeatist. You are a self-defeatist. You're sitting up here whining and crying. If you wanted a new car, you can go get you a new car, this, that, and the other. And I'm telling her, no, I can't. And so one day I decided to listen to her, and I took her advice. I'm telling you, I started with absolutely nothing. I was flat broke to the point where I was working on another degree, but I had a degree, and I was cleaning houses for my friend. That's how broke I was. But what I did was I stopped making excuses. I did. This is just me personally. I'm not talking about anybody. So I stopped making excuses. And a lot of times, like my dad always says, people buy what they want and they beg for what they need. And I think overall, for us in our community, that is our situation. We got all the bells and whistles to everything. But when it comes down to the necessities, we don't have the money. And we are standing. I'm not talking about everybody because I know everybody ain't able. So I don't want to, deal in absolute. But then, that you will be able to drive by a food line and see people standing there in Jordans and all the other stuff that's like, well, that was your turkey on your feet, right? We don't want to be judgmental. And so when I hear what about people that didn't have anything, I think of our ancestors. I think our ancestors right after slavery, where those white people set them free with nothing but the raggedy ass clothes on their backs. And they went and started whole towns and cities and communities with absolutely nothing. They didn't even have a piece of bread to eat. And so I came up with this. I'm probably going to put it on a t-shirt. that we as Black people need to have the hustle, the heart, and the hunger of our ancestors. We have, like, if anybody's going to survive this, it's going to be Black people. But we do have, like, for Gary, like you said, there's some people who have nothing. But I don't believe that, because like a lot of times we might look around us and we do have stuff. You know, we all used to sell life insurance with the exception of Donovan. How many times did we go visit people and they said, I can't afford it, as a big giant TV was sitting on the wall with cable in every room. Everybody had all the, you know, the stuff they didn't need. They had the stuff they wanted, but they weren't willing to part with those things. And so I always ask people that I work with, how bad do you want it? Do you want it as bad enough to really take a deep dive analysis into your life and say, do I need these things or do I want these things? Because we are so busy right now buying things we want. And if we would just stop doing that, even for a couple of months, we can get to more of the things that we need. That's just my opinion, but I get it.
Well, you know, it took me, I was sitting out there living in that big ass house with them 4 cars in the driveway. And I really felt that people on the south side of Houston was full of shit. I felt they could do far more for themselves. So instead of being on my side of town every day, I went out there. Y'all know how my wife used to get new furniture every year? And she couldn't understand why I would do it. I'd go in the house and I'd say, man, that furniture don't look good. I'm gonna buy you some new furniture. Well, shit, she didn't care. She just wanted new furniture. So I would take that furniture, the wash and the dry, put it on a truck, take it to the south side of town to a family that just didn't have shit. Because I had to get over there and I had to see this box that I'm living in. This shit ain't real out here in the suburbs with me. So I went to the hood and I had to really see, are my people lazy? Do they not understand? Or are some of these people just at the bottom scratching and they can't get there? It's a lot of them that just can't get there.
Okay.
A lot of them that want to do everything that y'all saying. They want to do it, but they can't get there. Well, now, I remember you said I wouldn't do $50 a day. I started working in the stadium for my partner for $40 a day. But I did it for one day. I did it for one day.
Do it for 6 months. It's okay, but like progress.
I did it for one day. And I turned $40 from one day into $300,000 a year. But what I did not do, the opportunity that he gave me, I gave it to every single worker that worked for me. I would teach them that game. It would be totally up to them if they wanted it. And I would show them everything they needed to do to make $300,000 a day. I mean, $300,000 a year. Some of those people, they still there, but now they can't do that because of the pandemic. The only thing I'm saying is I didn't want to accept this pandemic. This shit is fake. I mean, or whatever. But then I can do everything you saying under normal circumstances. But if I go buy me an RV right now, who the fuck gonna stay in it? They can't afford to stay where they at.
Okay, that's so I had all I could take. No, 2 things. The pandemic is the best thing that's happened to me financially as a human being financially. And call me an opportunist. When shit gets crazy, that's when you make the most money. Man, first of all, you guys, we need to get rid of, here's my thing. I don't do excuses. I don't care what it is. The cat died, bury his ass, keep it moving. Oh, somebody say, oh, my uncle died. Well, shit, was it you? He's dead unless you are Lazarus and you can bring his ass back. So what? There's no excuse for not having it. The difference is those people, it's their behavior. Because somebody out in the hood that has broken as nothing is going to get pissed off to the point and go, enough is enough. I'm going to get my ass out in this cold I'm gonna get out in the cold. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get it. And the problem is in the hood, though, we got so many crabs in the barrel. When somebody do try and go out, everybody on them. It's a joke. It's a laugh. Oh, look at homeboy. He trying to be somebody. He think he white. Like, I don't care where you live. You can go out and get it. The thing is behavior. If you, okay, so you don't have a pot to piss in, what are you doing for 24 hours? You should be looking for a pot. Some people throw pots away. There's no reason not to have it. I just told people if I was broke with with $1, not a penny in my pocket, I would take my ass to the gas station and hit these windows. Right? I would knock on every single door and say, hey, you know what? I just lost my job, but I can clean your house. I can take shit out the backyard. I can take it over to the dump. I can put it in Walmart's trash can. I can put it in your neighbor's trash can. Like, what do you need? You need a massage? I can do that. You know what I'm saying? You want me to brush your hair in the shower? I could do that. I don't care what it is. Like, there's ways to make money. Like, we have to use our time valuable. There's no such thing as I can't. You guys, my sister will tell you, I know what she's talking about. Matter of fact, the girl she cleaned houses with, her name is Jasmine. That I met her. You know why? This girl, Jasmine, spoke no English. She had on some heels and a skirt that was too tight and too short. And she came in my office. I was like, I got to call you back. And we started talking. And we became friends. And then I hooked her up with my sister. And they started cleaning houses. Matter of fact, they would clean my house.
And the part that you left off is Yasmin, she was broke. Didn't have any money, didn't have a job, and she started that cleaning business with less than $200, and the rest is big time history. Like, literally, hardly could speak any English. She was crying to Walter about how she didn't have any money. He said, go start a cleaning business, and she did. She started a cleaning business, a carpet cleaning business, and a whole host of other things, and she's going strong. She actually got COVID certified, and she's making the big bucks now. But, you know, I get it. I completely get it. I understand. And then, you know, as far as Gary says, who's going to stay in those mobile homes? I used to think that way until I started driving by the malls. 2008, when the housing market came, a lot of people, I lost it all. So trust me, I know. But, you know, I drive by the malls and the parking lots are packed. I'm like, everybody ain't broke. Somebody's got some money. And where are these people getting the money from? And Gary, I get what you're saying, because there's some people who they just don't have it. But we look back throughout history, even in modern day, of people who did not have it. J.K. Rowling, you guys know who she is? She's the author of the Harry Potter books. You know, that lady is the first billionaire author. That lady was on welfare with no money, a single mama, and on the train, the idea for Harry Potter came to her mind. She said something told her to write that book, and she became the first billionaire author in the world with nothing. She had nothing. And so I know when we hear those stories, it's like, yeah, well, you know, it must sound good. And every publisher like 20 publishers turned her down until she finally struck it big. And so that's why I said, I mean, it's just like Darwinism, right? Survival of the fittest. And I think, especially as Black people, we sell ourselves short, because we are, if anybody has ever come back from the ashes like a phoenix, it's us. It is us. And that's why, especially I take exception to something like the Democratic Party, because they have sold us up the river time and time again, and sold us short to where and I'm not saying it's true about you, Gary, I'm just saying in general, to where we believe that there's nothing we can do. We can't do anything unless somebody is helping us do it.
I'm just looking at the hypocrisy in the comments. All these people talking this shit about folks doing this and doing that. I'm talking about the comments. Why the fuck y'all ain't rich then? If y'all know so motherfucking much over here in these comments, and y'all busting these fly ass comments, why the fuck you ain't rich then? Why the fuck you sitting here every Thursday night You know why? Because you fake it. You just as broke as them fucking people I'm talking about. But you got enough to put you on your fake diamonds and that bullshit and shine in front of motherfucking people and make them think you got some fucking money. Yeah. I'm talking about the poor man, and I'm not backing off that shit. And every time I pass down the street, I'm so fucking blessed to even be here and speak. God took my mobility from me. He took my voice from me. And the only thing I asked for was my voice. You can have the legs, but I need my voice. And that's why I don't hold back with the passion when I speak. Somebody helped me when I was flat on my ass. When I lost every fucking thing. And that's why I never hesitate to help people. But I also know that you have some people that have the spirit of an entrepreneur. They can't do it. Everybody can't be entrepreneurs, just like everybody can't be whatever they want to be. Everybody can't be a football player. I beat the hell out you in a game of pool. I beat your ass with a broomstick. That's how good I am. But everybody ain't that.
Well, that's true. Everybody ain't that. And you guys, this is where we have to elevate. You guys trust me. I get the whole thing. You know, like me and my father, we worked a shop on Florence and Normandy in South Central in the hood. Like, I'm not talking about like, oh, he was in the hood. We were on the corner of Florence and Normandy, and I worked there for years. I saw drive-bys. I saw all kinds of shit. Hookers I saw it all. And every day my father used to send me to the store to get food and lunch. And I'd always be thinking, damn, what can we do to help these people? What can we do to help ourselves? Do you see what I'm saying? So I understand, like, there's some people that are poor and struggling. That is an attitude, like, period. And until we get to that point, we're just going to be where we are. Start with something small, right? And by the way, let me say this. I saw a comment I wanted to address. You guys, do me a favor. Like, retirement, the Roth IRA, all that stuff, that's cool. But that ain't what we talking about. Because right now you 50 and you talking about money you can't touch for 10 years. I'm telling you shit you could do right now. And black people, and I'm talking about, like, when I say black people, I'm talking about us, like the ones that you consider that's just hustling and going for it. We have the most swag. We can create stuff from nothing. You guys, when I used to sit in the music studio with Kanye West, there's a dude, his name is Jimmy Iovine. Jimmy Iovine runs Interscope. I heard George Bush call him by name and said Jimmy Iovine's one of the most dangerous people or something, blah, blah, blah in the world. Jimmy Iovine would walk in the room and snoop everybody, Kanye, Christina, you name it. They would all freeze and pause when this dude would walk in the room. And I said to my boy, who in the fuck is that? He goes, that's Jimmy Iovine. I said, oh, he's a headmaster. He owned a label. Y'all niggas in here, I had a conversation with Nelly on this video shoot. I was like, dude, like, Chrysler gave you all these cars? He goes, oh man, I just give them away. And I'm doing the math. I'm like, what do you mean you gonna give them away? I said, why don't you like sell them? And he's like, oh man, we ain't got time for that. Now Nelly's cool, but I'm just making the point. I'm like, there's money everywhere. So we have to go out and get it. Until we have the attitude, we can do it. It's never going to work, because if you say you can't, you can't. Like, do you realize that most people believe in some sort of God, right? Like, if I said to somebody, hey, man, you could do this, you can do it. Some people will be like, no, my situation don't allow that. But you believe in a God, right? Be it Allah, Buddha, whatever it is, a God that you have never seen. None of us have seen. If a dude walk in my house with long hair and blue eyes, I'm gonna fuck him up. Be like, dude, get out of here with that shit. At the wino. The point I'm making is we believe in shit that we don't even see. But the person in the mirror that you can feel, see, touch is right there. You can do it. You guys, sometimes you just have to, what we're missing is the ability to get hurt, to fail, to lose. People will tell you, out of 100 ideas, 90 of my ideas sound stupid as hell. And people tell me that's dumb. My son will be like, oh, that's a stupid idea. He told me not to do this show. It's a waste of time. And we know it hasn't been. You know what I'm saying? And on and on and on. People will always tell you it's dumb. It ain't gonna happen. But that's where, like, if you watch Jimmy Iovine, the Defiant Ones, not Jimmy Iovine's, but like the HBO special, the Defiant Ones, if you watch that HBO special and you just watch Dre, all those guys and their story, like those guys weren't supposed to make it. They took blacks getting killed in the street and all the drama and they turned it into $1 billion businesses from 50 to Dre and all those guys. So the point I'm making is we have to start off small. If you are that poor where you can't walk across the street and clean your neighbor's window, knock on his door and ask him if you could do something for money, or you can't hit the gas station and clean a window, nobody's that poor. Nobody's that broke. Nobody.
And let me say this, Pioneer, how you doing? No, you're not the only one in the chat. We see your comments. YouTube, you guys can only see your comments, and Facebook, you can only see your comments. And so we see you, but I actually want to read your comment. You say we need to organize and demand more good-paying blue-collar jobs from the government. Everybody can't run a business and play games on the stock market. And I agree with you 100%. There's always going to be a service industry or a working class. That's just a fact. Everybody's not going to be an entrepreneur, right? But the point is, you know, to do something productive with the money that you do make, whatever that is. You know, and then somebody else made a comment about a felon or people who have a record. You know how many people with records and felons are millionaires?
Donald Trump's the president right now.
And he's definitely gonna have some felonies. And he got away with a bunch of them. But here's the thing, you guys, Pioneer, I'm gonna attack you. I'm gonna meet you in the middle. You guys, there's no more blue collar jobs. There's no more government jobs. Right now, they're trying to cut government jobs. There's no more organizing to be had. That's over, you guys. And you can't, and you guys, the stock market is not a game. Let me tell you, I've told people on this show, you can invest $100 in an E-Trade app and you can get in the game. Even if you lose $100, the knowledge is priceless. Do not tell me that you can't go out and get $100, $200. The problem is we need to take the risk and be able, you know, run the risk of getting hurt. I lost money in the stock market. I've lost thousands of dollars. And some days I watched my account. One day I was telling my son, like, whoa, like, wow, I just lost a car. Or, you know, one day I lost a small house. And I was like, damn, that hurts. But like, I remember the day I invested $900 in a Boeing stock option, and the next morning it went to 60 grand. So you have those days, right? If you guys put $100 in the JP stock option 2 weeks ago before the election, right now it's $1,200. The problem is we have to stop. The jobs are going away. The jobs are done. So if you're still waiting for a job, hallelujah, good luck. They're not coming back. They're cutting jobs. Like the states, one of the reasons the stimulus is held up is because the states need cash. They need cash to pay people. They don't got it. Like Texas and California, we each have over 1 million cases of COVID. They're shutting our state down for 30 days, starting, I think, tomorrow. At 10 p.m., it's a wrap. It's over. You can't be outside. That means the Uber driver that was out, the guy working the restaurant, the Pink Taco they just opened down the street from my house, they put all kind of money in it, and at 10 o'clock it's cracking. Not tomorrow night, it's gone. Those are jobs. But what can you do when at 10 p.m.? See, right now it's 6 o'clock where I'm at. It's 8 o'clock in Texas, 9 o'clock in New York. My question is, what are you doing at 10 o'clock at night? Are you writing? Like if you look at my house, it's a hot mess. Right? As my son, he's going to leave. Must be nice. No, he been here all day. But like, I got the books there. I got books everywhere. All I do, it drives the people in my household crazy because I'm falling asleep on this couch. I'm always working. Like if you look on my floor there, I got shit papers on the floor. I'm always trying to absorb shit. And I would rather Netflix it tonight and watch a cool movie. But I want my power back. And I don't want to ever have a grown-ass man tell me what time I can take a break, go on vacation. I would rather crawl the street and squeegee rims than have another dude tell me, now you do what you got to do, but sooner or later you got to get. Until we get to that point, you guys, we ain't going to have it. We can shut this podcast off and we can talk about jobs and the Roth IRA that ain't going to do shit for you for 10, 15, 20 years. Like, fuck retirement. There's no such thing. Put the money to work. And here's the sad part. I'm going to kind of wrap with this. The reason I told you guys about the RV is because anyone can do it. Texas got plenty of water, plenty of lake lands. They got plenty of forests and shit you can go visit. I've been to Texas. So I know, you know what I'm saying? You know who needs RVs? People at Cowboy Stadium. The Houston Texans or Oilers or whatever it is. The Houston Astros, okay, they cheap, but whatever, right? Like, you understand what I'm saying? You see those tailgate parties? What are they staying in? You guys have NASCAR come down there. What are people staying in? RVs. You know what I'm saying? You know, like maybe the kids want to get together and they want to get together one night as a group and be safe. They can rent this RV out for $100 a night. And they can sit there, drink, watch TV, watch the game, and then turn over the keys in the morning. There's opportunity, you guys, but we have to take it. Is it going to work all the time? No. But you have to take the step. And, you know, like I'm reading some of the comments, this, that, you know, some of you guys are retired and getting the check every month. But what the hell are you doing with it? Right? Like, you know, I have a lot of clients that are getting a monthly pension. I'm like, dude, you get a check for the rest of your life? You can take a risk every month. If the shit collapses, next month you get a check all over again. That's a beautiful thing. Donovan, tell me what that's like. Like, man. Like,
so let's do final thoughts.
You have to take the shot.
Absolutely. So, Donovan, what's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts basically is this. Like I said, I know you guys are looking at me sometimes and I'm in the comments and stuff, but I spend most of my time on Thursdays listening. And I'm not gonna, go out here and say, oh, I'm this super duper rich person, but I live okay. And the reason I live okay is because I listen to those that have the wisdom and I take down the notes and I do what I have to do. Because it's funny, a lot of stuff since we started doing this financial show, even though I've taken some losses because of the pandemic, I would have taken a lot more losses if I hadn't listened to a person who had the experience in the background and was not afraid to take the risk and say, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. Let me go and try and see what I can do. And yeah, I've taken hits, but it isn't nowhere near what I would have lost if I hadn't listened. So I'm going to encourage you guys to continue to come here Thursday nights. Just like the 5-star general is saying, if you have no money, if you have, you're coming out of the hood, you're coming from a bad situation, the family, this, that, your daddy ain't home, whatever. Walter just told you, $200. Some of you guys smoke that in a day. That's what, a dime bag of weed and, your beer and all that other stuff you guys are doing. And then you just start where you're at. And that's what I do. And that's why I'm quiet on Thursday nights, because I'm taking notes and I'm going to apply what I learned.
Walter, final thoughts?
You guys, you can get with me. Like, there's my website. You can contact us. And I know the Warzone is easy to get a hold of. I was telling my sister, you got the Warzone Cash App. You ought to start putting money in that. And let's go buy something. You guys don't have RVs in your neighborhood? We got them in mine. I'm an hour and 20 minutes from a national forest that gets 3 million visitors a year. They can't keep enough RVs. So I'm staying out there tomorrow night. I got to find an RV to stay in my damn self. So what I'm saying? So like, you don't even like, so let's say you can't participate in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Freedmen Bank, they used to collect money from Black people and they used to start banks and do things. There's nothing stopping us from doing that. You guys, if you're not taking 10 to 20% of what you bring in the door and putting it somewhere, I don't have car payments. I don't have a bunch of bills and shit. And I know what it is. If you got a car payment and you're in a food line, Lord have mercy. Or whatever it is, you guys. Like, I have never owned a pair of Air Jordans in my life because I can never afford it. And my sister tell you, I made $200,000-$300,000. My son is sitting right here on the couch. They used to buy 5 pizzas and see which one tastes the best. That was a mama. He was too young. I was mad as fish grease, but whatever. But like the point I'm making, you guys, is you could take the shot. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna lose. That's why you keep trying. You keep trying. When a guy gets on base and he strikes out, does he leave the team? Does he quit? He gets his ass back in rotation, and he or she, they take another swing at it. Tiger Woods, and I'll end with this, says he has missed more golf balls, screwed up more golf shots. Michael Jordan has missed more shots than anybody in the NBA. But the fact is he took more shots. And so that's the key, is taking the shots. If the word can is in your vocabulary, then you are doomed, period.
And before I give it to Gary, I'm going to give my closing thoughts, and I'm going to go with She Is Loyal 57 from YouTube. How you doing? You are actually my inspiration. I'm going to read your comments. You are replying to the Pioneer, who was also from YouTube. You say, I didn't believe I could own my own business, but I'm giving it a try. I am, I think you meant to say, tired of being on SSDI, and that's some form of Social Security. And you also say, I want to leave something for my daughter and my granddaughter. I'm learning trading. And then lastly, you said, where'd it go? You says, where'd it go? Oh God. You says, I am doing gardening, trading, and starting my own business. And I said, you are my inspiration simply because we know that after and during the Great Depression, the most millionaires were made in history. Those people had absolutely nothing. When I say nothing, they were negative nothing. And they started with what they had, with where they were. They did not make excuses. I am going to concede the fact that there's some people who just simply don't have it. We're not dealing in absolute here, but we know that there's people who have it. And to me, all you really need is a desire and some go get it. That's all you need. Just like start where you are. I have 2 degrees, and most of the work that I'm doing now doesn't necessarily have to do with my degrees. But also one thing I did realize is 2 degrees did not teach me hustle. I have to go and get that myself. And so again, She Is Loyal. I thank you for putting those examples in there, because if you can do it on SSDI, I would venture to say almost anybody can do it if they only have the desire. Gary?
I'm a hustler by nature. I went to bed counting money. I woke up counting money. I don't give a damn what I lose. It ain't hard to get nothing. It ain't hard to get shit. It's hard to keep it. Whatever y'all gotta do it. But I'm gonna tell you something, all y'all out there. The first time I see you talking down on that dude standing in the middle of the street with that motherfucking squeegee trying to wash your fucking windows on your goddamn car, I'm gonna have a problem with you, motherfucker. I'm gonna have a problem with you, man. I'd rather see a dude standing outside the store begging you for $1 than trying to rob your motherfucking ass. So can we look out for him? Because some of y'all the biggest hypocrites in the world on here, man. But I always give them money. I'll turn around. I'll drive down and turn around to help somebody. The one thing I didn't hear tonight, we do all that. And I see these people talking about the Asians and the Mexicans. Let's do like the Asians. Why don't about 50 of us put our money together? Pick one out the 50, build a business for them. When that motherfucker take off, then it's the next person's turn. That's how they getting the fuck what they getting. But we ain't talking about doing that.
That's a real susu.
Yeah, we ain't talking about doing that. Like you say, it's 10 Mexicans live in the house next door to you. You can't put 3 niggas in the house unless something come up missing. I'm just being real with you. I'm just telling y'all how I feel. So please do not talk down on them dudes in the middle of the streets, them women in the middle of the streets with them squeegees trying to wash your fucking windows, because that's what Walter telling you you might have to do. Because I see y'all do it every day, even on this show. You hypocritical. You hypocritical. Now you might say, well, Monroe, you are. I'm the dude that stood on the corner for 3 years with some fucking football helmets. Y'all know about that. Because I believe that the community, those were your children. You should have invested in your children. And I stood out there, rain, sleet, or snow, every weekend for 3 years just to raise enough money to give some kids some fucking hope. You know how many of y'all talk bad about me? But you know how many of them kids made it to college? You know how many of them kids made it to the pros? Get out your goddamn glass box. Your glass house that you live in, where you think you better than everybody. And remember one thing. Karma's a bitch. And when it come back to you, it just might be your ass in the street with that goddamn squeegee and gonna need some help. Now, I ain't giving you no fucking music. I ain't got time to joke with you tonight because this shit is really, it's real for me. So on behalf of my man Donovan Sadiq, the Queen Demetra K, my man Walter the Money Man, I'm the 5-star general. We'll holler at you.